Recording is on.
Hello and welcome to the Monday, 22nd of March, 2021 DXDAO BizDev call. On the agenda today, we have new member introduction, DXDAO participating in ETH2 staking with Stakewise introduction. Kirill is here. We have Bao Finance, I guess it's Bao Finance, right? And XDAI Swapper collaboration. I'm not sure if Bauman is here. I tagged him just now on Discord, but it doesn't look like he has joined. But yeah, I guess we can discuss this internally. And yeah, I guess to kick us off, new members, I think Luke is kind of new. I think many people here know him. But yeah, feel free to introduce yourself, Luke.
Yeah, I'm Luke. I got involved into this ecosystem through Genesis Alpha about 2.5 years ago or something like that. I've been building a bunch of DAOs ever since, from a Impact DAO in Curacao in the Caribbean to then Fest DAO, and more recently I helped incubate Prime DAO. And recently we started a Web3 collective called Collectivo Labs, providing different Web3 services, mainly on the BizDev design facilitation side and less on the technical side.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome, Luke. And I think, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff that can be done here. I guess that you guys could do, I guess on the BizDev side type stuff.
I forgot to mention I run a DeFi fund in the Netherlands for a hedge fund, but that's more on the side.
Nice. Anyone else? Nathan, are you new? Because I mean, I've seen you around, but do you want to introduce yourself, or have you introduced yourself before?
Yeah, hi guys. I'm really sorry. I'm not sure if there's going to be any, echo on the line because my mic broke. My headphones. Can everyone hear me well?
Yeah, good enough.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been joining the calls for the whole of last week, and yeah, I was introduced to DXDAO by Martin. I've been doing business development for traditional tech businesses for quite some time. I've been a part of crypto indirectly. I know a lot of people, but I'm not involved with any business. I'm a huge fan on the idea of DAOs. I tried to start a DAO myself even before Ethereum and Bitcoin existed, but I failed, and I haven't worked for any DAO since. I'm really optimistic about the future of DXDAO, and I have a lot of ideas. I've been sharing some with the team. I even have a couple of opportunities that I've brought in for discussion. So yeah.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, and it's become a spiel now that I'm gonna say that what drives a DAO is initiative. So if you have any initiative, come and bring it to the forums, to these calls, and get some feedback, and then lead that. And that's kind of how things work. So welcome, both Luke and Nathan. Yeah, I guess next we have Kirill from Stakewise. So I talked to Kirill. About basically figuring out maybe this goes into the treasury management kind of thoughts of using some of the treasury to stake in an ETH 2.0 client. And I think Stakewise is already live. You can already stake with it, and from what it seems like, we can interact with the contracts directly from the DAO. And yeah, I don't know, Kirill, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you, Erlen. Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Can you guys hear him?
Unfortunately, Can you guys hear me?
I can.
All right.
Yeah, I can hear.
awesome.
It's you, Sky.
I
In and
can
out.
too.
Oh, well. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry about that, Scott. Yeah, it's a great pleasure to be here. Admittedly, I think everyone is a new face to me, so I'm excited to meet you and here really to speak about Stakewise. So we are an ETH2 staking solution that has been designed for the broader market. And what separates us from the rest of the offerings is the fact that we offer semi-custodial staking, which does not require you to put trust in us as a sole withdrawal key custodian. And another differentiation that we offer is that we focus on every single little detail that amplifies the staking yield for the end user. So what this means is we have divided the deposit and the rewards in the beacon chain into two separate tokens, which allows us to achieve compound staking before phase 2. And also we have removed socialization for large deposits, which means that as our pool continues to grow, the existing stakers are unlikely to witness the dilution of their existing APYs. So this is the sort of high-level overview of what we do. So we have two products. One of them is the staking pool, where anyone can do just a couple of clicks in order to participate. No limits on deposits. We offer the lowest gas fees for deposit of every other platform out there, and this is owing to a lot of work that has gone into the development of the platform. We have been testing it since May 2020 and have gone through every single testnet. Later on, audited our contracts with a company called Runtime Verification, who audited everything ETH2 related. And now we're on the mainnet since basically 2 weeks ago. We have so far attracted around 18,000 Ether in total value locked. And admittedly, this is below our potential at the moment because we are just setting up the liquidity pools for the tokens and just launching the governance token for the DAO that is supposed to run the service. And yeah, we would be very keen to get at least a portion of the DXDAO's treasury onto our platform, because we believe that we can give you guys the best offer out of everyone. If you have any questions at this time, please shoot. Otherwise, I can probably give you a quick demo of the platform. I guess
Any
demo
thoughts,
it is.
questions?
Well, let's do the demo, if you said, yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me share my screen. All right, can you see it?
Yep.
Awesome. So this is the staking pool interface that we have. The way you land on it is through the landing page. Probably no point in going there, but this is the main interface. So what you guys can see is the amount that you're staking, the amount of rewards that you have accrued, the staking APR at the moment. I'll come back to the early adopters campaign a little bit later, but the pool stats are here on the left with the amount of Ether that has been deposited and has been activated in the beacon chain, and the amount that is activating or being collected for the new validator. You can see that the staking fee that we charge on the user's earnings is 10%. So this is the amount that from the rewards that everyone on our platform earns that goes into the Stakewise DAO. And on the right, you see the transfer history, which is for the tokens. So you can transfer the tokens that represent your stake to other people. If you were to connect, admittedly, I only have MetaMask right now on here with the 0 to very little Ether on it. Oh. Yeah, but the way it would go is like this. So you go deposit, you choose the amount that you want to deposit. You're told that you will receive an equivalent amount of SF2 tokens. Yeah, this is as much as I have right now on my MetaMask. So this is the amount of SF2 tokens that you will receive in return. And once you press confirm, then basically you'll be able to send a transaction, and your deposit will be staking straight away and earning daily staking rewards. With regards to the tokenization, which is the core component of our system, the way it works is the following. Whenever you deposit, you receive SF2 tokens. This is representing just the principal amount. The reason why we do 2 tokens is because the rewards in the beacon chain do not accrue themselves, and they cannot be withdrawn until phase 2, which is some time away in the future. So it makes sense to separate the 2 assets with different cash flow expectations: the principal that is earning rewards and the rewards that are just sitting there, into 2 different tokens. So when you deposit, you receive a deposit token. As long as you hold it, you accrue the reward token. Both tokens are mapped to ETH in the pool at a 1-to-1 ratio. Whenever you transfer the deposit token somewhere else, it is akin to transferring your stake. But what is nice is when you lock the token in a contract, be it a liquidity pool or a lending protocol, you can continue harvesting the rewards. And the advantage here is that with single token structures of others, you would need to like unstake or unwrap your token in order to access these rewards. With us, it's actually, you can continuously pull them as much as your position allows in terms of gas costs. This is probably it for the core mechanics. What we currently have running is this early adopters campaign, where we're rewarding the early depositors into the platform with the governance tokens that we will issue. The governance tokens are supposed to have the typical voting functionality, but on top, they will also have the ability to participate in the insurance fund, where those who stake the governance tokens will be insuring the platform against slashing related risks, and in exchange will be owning a portion of the protocol's fees. So this is a nice way to get people who believe in the platform to like take on some risk in exchange for the insurance premiums. So with this being said, where we are currently in our development stages, in terms of our development stages, we are at the moment where we're preparing to launch liquidity pools. So this is a core component, of course, of the tokenized staking solutions, where you can exchange the tokens back into Ether and therefore unstake before phase 2. Since we will have liquidity pools for both tokens, both the deposit and the rewards, what the people who want to achieve compound staking will be able to do is sell the reward tokens in the secondary market and reinvest them as a larger principal, and therefore achieve compound staking returns. The good thing is that we will be, first of all, incentivizing the achievement of a peg between the reward token and Ether in the secondary market, and also implementing vaults to automate the process. So this is something that would be great to have in the market that no one has, and we're pushing for it. And of course, on top come the various farming mechanisms that we will undoubtedly implement to bootstrap liquidity. We also have a solo solution, which is just a validator. Is my internet working? A validator as a service, sort of hosting service. Here, if you have 32 Ether, you can deposit it and stake non-custodially, so you will be the only owner of the withdrawal key. And that is, yeah, I'll probably stop here and listen to your questions.
Yeah, I had a basic, maybe it's a basic question, but there's the pool version and the solo version. Like, if the solo one might be easier to think about, but if I put the 32 ETH there and it's staked, are you guys running a validator on my behalf? Like, who's running the validators? Like, these things are being staked where?
Yeah, so we are running the validators, which means that we are running the infrastructure where the validators are on and are participating in the consensus mechanism. The main difference between the pool and solo at this point is the fact that in solo, you provide the withdrawal key. So you alone decide when to pull your validator off the network. The staking pool, the solution that we have there is the semi-custodial setup, where there are where the withdrawal key was created in a trustless manner and split upon the moment of creation into 7 parts. And there are 7 part holders from the Ethereum community that hold this for a multisig fashion. So in order for us to process the withdrawals whenever they're available, we will need a number of signatures that exceeds the threshold in order to process this withdrawal. Now, the non-custodial staking in pools is becoming possible as we speak. So I think in a couple of weeks, we'll probably expect the non-custodial staking to become a fully viable solution, and we expect to switch to it ASAP. So whenever the tech allows, we definitely want to support this non-custodial staking.
So is non-custodial staking, is that something enabled by Ethereum itself, or you're saying that Stakewise is developing something?
So this is enabled by Ethereum 2.0 itself. So the validator that you would create on your own machine typically needs it needs a withdrawal key that controls the funds in that validator. So whenever we run the infrastructure, so we run your validator, what it means is that we have the validator keys that are used to attest and propose, and you have the withdrawal key so that whenever you deem it necessary, you can exit your validator from the network and withdraw your funds, subject to withdrawal conditions being met in phase 2.
This is cool. I think there's a question so 2 questions in the chat. One is, why should we use Stakewise instead of Lido? I don't know, do you have any insights about that?
Yes, absolutely. So I guess our main advantage versus Lido, the advantage of using us, is the tokenomics. So I'd probably say that we are on par in terms of the custodial staking. So semi-custodial staking, they have this multi-sig arrangement we do as well. But the tokenomics is where our product shines. So there are several pitfalls of single token structures, not just Lidos, that the dual token structure of ours avoids. And the dual tokens allow us to do compound staking as well. So if I were to speak about the pitfalls, then, for example, if you're using your single token like Lido in a lending protocol, whenever you accrue rewards on your leveraged position, you don't really have access to them. So either you need to wrap your token first and the rewards accrue into the wrapper contract, or you simply don't even do it, and the token is like growing in its balance within the lending protocol, but this is not reflected in the amount of collateral that you can take on. And you cannot withdraw these rewards either unless you unwind the whole position. So that is pretty inconvenient to us, and we decided to avoid that with the dual token structure. Another pitfall of Lidos, say, is the fact that when you deposit after a certain period has passed, when their pool has accrued rewards, you're being sold you're being sold rewards that are unproductive upon entry. So you're being sold a share of the pool, which is part deposits, part rewards. And what this means is you expect it to earn a certain APY on the principal of like 10 Ether, but instead you'll be earning it on the principal of like 9.5 or 9, depending on how much rewards they have accrued. So of course you still have the reward part that you bought, but it's just going to sit unproductively until phase 2 because you cannot withdraw it and you cannot restake it natively. Now on top of this, so first of all, we avoid all of these problems with the dual token structure. The second advantage is we offer compound staking, as long as the peg between the reward token and ETH is achieved in the market. Third, we are positioning ourselves as the staking really DAO, where we give 51% of the governance tokens to the community, which means that we will be offering potentially much larger incentives to join us and provide liquidity for our token and so forth compared to everyone else. And paired with the dual token model, we believe that this will result in higher APYs based on just the way things are arranged on like the basic level. And also, if you consider the farming opportunities, then if you take those into account, then the farming opportunities as well should be plentiful. So that is our pitch. But also, I would probably say that it seems that many people who have large sums to stake are going the distributed way, where they try to allocate their eggs into different baskets to minimize the infrastructure risk, and see basically their funds growing in different pockets. So certainly you do have the risk exposure to the beacon chain itself, because all these funds would be staked in the beacon chain. But at the same time, having these with different infrastructure providers definitely helps if you believe that slashing risk is something that you want to minimize.
Kirill, did you mention having an AMM on the roadmap, like for the?
Absolutely, yeah. So since, is this your question?
Oh yeah, yes, and are you planning to build that yourselves? Like, yeah, I was curious more about your plans for that.
I don't think that we'd need to build this ourselves, because we'd probably need to in-source some of the liquidity that is already largely available in the existing AMMs. So there's probably no need to do this, unless you're speaking about just the integration into the front end, which is definitely something that we want to pursue. Otherwise, the plans for the liquidity pool setup is that we want to create a stable pool between the deposit token and the ETH token. And this is really in order to achieve minimum slippage for the deposit token. The only two places to do this at the moment are Curve or Balancer V2. And we're in active contact with both teams about and basically trying to get the best terms for the tokens in terms of like farming incentives and also in terms of listing speed. Then the liquidity pool for the reward token does not need to be a stable pool, because owing to the farming incentives that we want to offer, we actually expect that it can run above Ether, and we don't want to put a cap on that. So the bottom line for this is that we'd probably want to list it somewhere like Sushi, Uni, or Bancor when it's supply. Well, Bancor is really the latest stage of it, when the total supply grows to a larger extent than it has grown now. But right now it's likely to be Sushi. So with those two in place, the tokenomics are going to work great altogether, also considering the governance token.
Interesting, because I mean, I understand how Sushi would be appealing for its user base, but DXDAO also has a Uniswap fork, so it might be interesting. Yeah, to talk more about that if it's a possibility, and it's something that we're depositing liquidity from the DXDAO treasury into Swapper. And so, we probably have an interest of any kind of like investment going into there. And then the one advantage that I think might make a difference with Swapper too is you actually have the ability to govern the swap fee. So we could potentially reduce the swap fee. Like in SushiSwap, it's 0.3%, just like generally in all the Uniswap forks. We forked Uniswap, but we modified the swap fee so that it's actually governable and it could be set much lower.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent advantage. And since for the reward token, our hands are not tied at all. We don't want it to be in a stable pool, and it's literally a function of where we can get the best liquidity, best fees, and best sort of farming incentives. Super happy to look into Swapper and work with you on that.
Awesome. Yeah, let's follow up.
Yeah.
I was also curious. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go.
I had one sort of related question. You mentioned that if you have the SETH2 token, you can collect your reward. You can harvest the reward token even if it's in a separate liquidity pool. Is that something? Could you speak to how that's done on a technical level?
Yeah, sure. So if we were to consider Curve, for example, it's even simpler in Balancer, but admittedly, I don't have it written up in front of me. But if we were to consider Curve, for example, then the way this would work is the following. Whenever you, where's this chat? So yeah, whenever you deposit ETH into the Stakewise pool, you get the SETH2 token, you deposit it into Curve, and basically the integration plan with them is the following. So we deploy the, sorry, I'll address your rewards token question first. So you deposit SETH2 into the contract. The RF2 is then collected to the stable swap address in the Liquidity Gauge V2 address. And then whenever you want to pull whatever has accrued to the Liquidity Gauge, you also pull the staking rewards.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's natively supported with Balancer, right? But with Curve, you got to do something different.
We don't actually need to do the extent of integration on the Curve side is super minimal. I guess it is basically the same for every other token that they add to their platform.
Gotcha. Nice.
All right, that's super cool. I think if I'm trying to think of action items here, one is looking into Swapper, and the other one is actually figuring out if it makes sense for DXDAO to use Stakewise to stake ETH, and then I think it would probably be in the Solar pool, just because we can. And I think, I don't know, we could start with 32 ETH to try in the Solar pool. And yeah, I don't know, anyone other thoughts?
I see that there's also a question in the chat about the tokenomics and the team of two. So I wonder if you could specify your question on the tokenomics, first of all, and I'll address the team of two question at the moment. So we are indeed a very lean team, and what is currently in the works is the expansion of the team, since we have closed the funding round, basically announced concurrently with the launch 2 weeks ago. So for us, the sort of hiring priority now is a smart contract engineer and also a blockchain engineer. So the reason why we want to hire blockchain engineers separately as well is because we want to be working on the development of secret shared validators, which is sort of the holy grail of decentralization in ETH2, because it allows to run the same validator on several machines and let it attest and propose transactions based on the multisig within itself, basically. So imagine the same validator running on 5 machines right now. If 2 of these machines, like if the validator attests or proposes twice because it's running on several machines, it's going to get slashed. The idea with secret shared validators is that you need a certain threshold level of signatures. So like you need 3 out of 5 machines to do correct operations in order for the validator to attest or propose. And what this allows you to do is achieve superior redundancy, where 2 of the machines can be down, but your validator can still be running without breaking a sweat and earning to its maximum potential. So this is something that's in the works for us now. We want to innovate on the topic, and there is a team that is working on this with the grant from the Ethereum Foundation. We have been in touch with them about helping them with the development, but at the same time, we want to like maybe go a step further there, and for that we definitely need to expand the team. Otherwise, I can probably say that so far we have been quite okay just on the 2 of us, but obviously going after a much larger TVL where we'll now be expanding the team with development forces and also marketing sort of spend.
Nice. And I think there's one question about the tokenomics. One thing that I noticed is that there's a 4-year vesting schedule for the team, which is fairly rare in crypto. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, our intention was to actually be on the side of the community and really commit behind the product that we're building. It's for us super important to make this into a decentralized project, and we thought that the tokenomics need to reflect that, and we believe that with the current setup, the incentives are very much aligned with the community. But yeah, I guess thank you guys very much for inviting me over. I'll stick around for the rest of the call if you don't mind. Feel free to kick me if you think I'll be privy to some private information. But yeah, thank you for giving me a platform to speak, and I hope to work with you on a solution for the treasury.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, thank you very much. And yeah, I hope we can work together. I can start a group on Telegram with some of the people who are interested. And yeah, I think John just said this in the chat. Like the DXDAO is really like an open organization, completely open. So anyone theoretically can join, anyone can participate and initiate something, right? Initiative. Yeah, so maybe moving on to the next topic, if no one has any more questions, or could ask them in the chat later. Yeah, so I guess I got a little bit mixed up, but we have 2 items on the agenda. So there's the BAO Finance integration on XDAI Swapper, and then there's the RF Noob here in the chat that might talk about the DXDAO running an XDAI validator. So yeah, these are 2 separate topics, but I don't know, John, maybe you want to start with the first one with the BAO Finance integration?
Right, yeah, so I kind of summarized this at the beginning, and we're not expecting Bowman, right? That was a mix-up. I don't think we actually talked about
no Bowman. No Bowman today.
Nylon may have been just spreading a rumor. But yeah, so the basic, I'll just go over it again, I guess, because it wasn't recorded at the beginning, right, when I talked about it. Does that make sense, Nylon?
Yeah, go explain it now, I think.
Yeah, okay, so just to summarize, so BAO is a project that's launched in the last few months, I think, and their goal is to build a synthetics platform. I haven't looked too closely the details of that, but they have a roadmap on getting there, and they have currently, so far they've launched farming rewards and a Uniswap fork. I guess the Uniswap fork must be on, I don't know if they have the Uniswap fork on mainnet, but they have a Uniswap fork on XDAI. And so they actually have a decent amount of liquidity with people doing this farming on XDAI. I think that it totals out to about $19 million, which is a lot for XDAI. I think if you look at DeFi Pulse, XDAI in total has something like 50, 60 million. And HoneySwap has about $10 million of liquidity. So then naturally with the latest eco routing or smart routing, depending on what you call it on Swapper, where we're pulling in liquidity from Uniswap forks, we have HoneySwap live. If you go to Swapper and go to XDAI, Federico went ahead and integrated BowSwap as well because, hey, there's a lot of liquidity there and that'd be cool. And then the next thing we thought was, well, since the BowSwap UI is actually kind of in a very alpha state and the Swapper UI is a bit better, why don't we reach out to their community about this, this release and see what they say. So I just jumped into their Discord and pinged their community manager and said, hey, check out how Swapper works with HoneySwap. We're about to release something similar with BowSwap. I think it could be kind of a win-win. It's going to help, users access that liquidity, hopefully increase the volume on the BowSwap LPs, and it'll help, make Swapper more usable. So the community manager just responded saying, hey, great, that sounds awesome. I'll talk with Bowman about it and get back to you. So hopefully they'll want to collaborate. We'll do the release anyways. It's not, it's permissionless. So we'll go ahead, but hopefully there'll be some kind of collaboration on the announcement itself. And maybe, there's some room for us to collaborate with the project in the long run since their focus is on synthetics. I don't know if people have any thoughts on that or questions.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. First, just the eco or smart routing really does open up a lot of easy opportunities for Swapper to just engage or build different or go after different communities. I think that's really cool. And I also think it shows XDAI is growing a little bit and there's a lot of liquidity that we can try to capture or work with on XDAI. And most of the tokens that they're farming are actually the blue chip DeFi tokens. So there's actually a good number of those that have been bridged over to XDAI. And I don't know if you guys have used Swapper on XDAI or not, but it's such a relief to trade without fees. To do a $50 or $20 trade just because you're well, I'm not worried about a crazy gas cost. It's nuts. So yeah, no, just excited for kind of Swapper on XDAI, and I think the BowSwap one is a good way to kind of get some more eyeballs on there. Yeah, I think we should be thinking about more with Swapper on XDAI just because I think it can grow a bit more.
Yeah, and I think more generally, there's a lot of kind of business development, partnership opportunities on XDAI. I think the OneHive folks are actually excited about this eco routing feature, and we're also talking to OneHive about, potentially integrating a couple of their upcoming projects into Omen. They're working on Agave, which is an Aave fork with lending. And so, using those interest-bearing tokens as collateral under the hood in Omen is an idea. And then they have another project, Celeste, which is an Aragon Court fork, which could potentially be plugged into Omen as an arbitration option as well.
This is all Bow Finance? Or
that's OneHive. So
oh yeah,
I was working on the synthetics thing. OneHive, which has HoneySwap and Agave and also Celeste. Those are all under the kind of the OneHive umbrella.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I don't know if you guys, someone shared the XDAI newsletter that they publish on their site each week. Every week, there's more and more projects and things happening and moving in the XDAI ecosystem, and us being there and being involved, we will be able to start to, especially once we get the capital in Swapper more and things, we'll be able to start doing more work with all the that growing ecosystem. And it's cool because it's a niche environment compared to mainnet, and so there's probably a lot more opportunity as some of these examples show.
And maybe a good segue into our next topic.
Yeah. I'm not sure if the RF noob is here. But yeah, he is here. So he proposed for DXDAO to run an XDAI validator, which is cool. Do you wanna take the mic?
Yes, hi guys. It's very nice to be here. So I'm just a new community member. I joined the community, I guess, 10 days ago or 2 weeks ago. So it's lovely here. I like this community chat. So yeah, thank you very much for the openness. So yeah, I discovered this DAO because it's on XDAI indeed. So I think it's an environment full of opportunities. And one of these, perhaps, since it's very early, is to run a node. So currently there are 16 nodes. I think the protocol expects to have at maximum 19 nodes. With the, if there are more candidates, let's see, there is a competition, partially probabilistically, partially based on the number of stake being held. But anyway, I think it's an interesting opportunity since to have a validator in one of the networks that you use. And since last week or something, you started this investment fund. So I don't remember exactly the name. Yes, I'm Italian. Yeah, you started this investment fund with the resources of the DAO. Perhaps it's an opportunity, to run a validator. It's gonna cost, I think, 2,000 stakes, which for a private person can be really a lot, but maybe for the DAO it's manageable. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thanks. I agree. That would be awesome, and it's actually cool that we have Kirill from Stakewise here, so we can ask him. Are you guys planning? Would you guys ever have enabled the ability to for a DAO to run something like an XDAI validator? I know it's not the focus right now, but this is RF noob. This is one of the issues in general DAOs are currently facing is what does it mean for DXDAO to run a validator on XDAI?
Right.
Who is going to do it, right?
Yeah, so I think that you have this system where you basically have two addresses. One is the address where you need to have the stake. So this means that you need to have 2,000 stakes, and that address is, let's say, the staking address. And the other is the address that the operator of the nodes needs to own. Okay, so there are two separate things. So perhaps somebody from the DAO could be given the responsibility about the operator wallet, but the staking wallet is separate, so there is no risk of somebody quitting with the 2,000 stakes. So anyway, I tried to speak with Igor from XDAI. So it's very open and helpful in the chat, but he didn't answer today. So but maybe in one of the next few days I can link the response in the Discord or something. So I think there is this idea anyway of having a wallet with the money, the stake, and then a different wallet for the operator with less power, let's say.
Cool.
Yeah, so maybe a member organization of DXDAO could actually run the infrastructure, and then DXDAO could delegate the stake, and that could be pretty cool.
Yep, cool.
Yes, DXDAO is staking, everyone. This is bullish.
We're moving to a staking world, so we better get used to it.
Yeah, and I think this is I think this is a very good use of the treasury. So, so someone accidentally turned on his video. Yeah, I think maybe Luke just mentioned that he may have some contribution ideas to the group. You want to run them?
Yeah, for sure. So like I mentioned, we recently started a Web3 collective with about 12 people We're mainly designers, videographers, biz dev people, org designers, and what so. I have been trying to find ways to start contributing to DXDAO, either myself or other people from the group. Normally, we do this more of a group work where we pick up specific tasks as a group and then complete them. For example, with Prime DAO, we have about 4 full-time employees there. And I saw a couple of open positions. I think mainly on the design side, I'm super curious to hear kind of what is needed. We have people that can make very artistic NFTs. We have run merch with, for example, Metagame, which is also a good way to get kind of community engagement and high quality merch. We have brand designers that can help out if you want a full brand deck or if you want basically the documents that Aave have. And also we're interested in helping with things like org design, setting up Notion boards for BizDev. I myself am super interested in DAO treasury management, and I saw that someone's already on that, but if they need extra help or input, I'm happy to be involved. But I'm mainly curious to see kind of what the community thinks that is most needed and in what direction we should shoot a first draft or first forum post.
Hey, Luke, that's awesome. Does that, when you say design, does that include something like a main product landing page, like web design?
We have 4 people in the design squad now. One is very creative, the other is more 3D video, the other is more UI driven. So it could be anything from high-end NFTs to physical merch to websites to almost full product development, at least from the research and design phase.
Cool, because so one project that we have like a need for ongoing today that we don't have a definite answer for is Omen is progressing. There's an Omen guild, an Omen token coming. Omen doesn't have a page, a home site that people can end up on, learn about everything, learn about the guild, learn about the product. And so we are in the process of trying to define that content for Omen, and how like Uniswap and all these projects have, they have the DApp page, but then they also have their home page, right? And so
similar to how
really
Balancer Finance and Balancer Exchange, for example.
Exactly. So that home page is really what we're going to need to focus on the next few weeks to try to get that in place. So potentially that could be a potential collaboration opportunity.
You mentioned the launch. Is that like a relaunch of Omen or something in the direction with a token and what so?
Omen, the product is always being improved and like almost to the point where it's going to be a new experience. But there's an Omen guild and an Omen token that would govern the Omen ecosystem and the Omen product, and that is really like more of a new launch. Yes.
Cool. So what I could maybe do then is I'll draft something out for the kind of ideation and design of that homepage, and maybe also add in there what a kind of marketing campaign, including NFTs and a shirt launch or something could look like, and how that could maybe make the experience both understandable for the people getting involved, but also exciting.
Yeah, cool.
Luke, what would be the best way to get in contact with you? Because I think this is something that would be worth exploring for Stakewise as well.
For sure, you can tweet me at LukeDAO or Telegram, or I think Telegram or Twitter is the best. I'll draft something up. The best place is Keybase or the forum, right?
Yeah, sure. Would you mind dropping a link in the chat?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cool. And then for the treasury management, I don't know if that person is here today, but like I mentioned, I've been running and researching a DeFi fund for the past year and been more familiar with treasury management and hedge funds and whatever. So if there's any help needed there, I'm personally super interested in that stuff.
Yeah, just to jump in, Yeah, we're kind of like gearing towards putting a structure on like data gathering and presenting it, and we're hoping to do like a Q1 report. So we're a little past the ideation phase and right now, and I guess Dave is not on the call. No, but it might be cool to get your like input on some of that as we work towards putting that report together, which I think will kind of kick off some ideas that we're thinking about doing with the Treasury. So
yeah, that sounds exciting. I'll just start with that simple form proposal, and then you can get it kicking from there.
sure.
We can do a lot with NFTs. Very exciting. Yeah, looking forward to the post.
Nice.
Yeah, Luke, we like NFT, like some of us here love NFTs, and I agree there's lots of things we can do with NFTs. What we've really been, what a lot of people have been waiting for is to leverage NFTs on not mainnet Ethereum, right? Because NFTs are not working on mainnet unless
the next slide.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an infrastructure now, right? So we
And-
can.
and- yep.
So,
Go
so
ahead.
we're doing that ourselves for the upcoming Prime DAO event on Wednesday. Philippe and the guys have made specific NFTs for people that attend specific workshops as kind of being part of a narrative, and then you can show kind of what part of this ecosystem you've been part of and kind of have a shared experience. And we're dropping those on XDAI because it just wouldn't make sense to do it on mainnet.
Cool.
And then those things can be used, for example, for retrospective rewards or whatever you'd want to do with it.
Awesome.
Nice.
You got another call, Sky.
Yeah.
Anyone has, I don't know, any other comments about any of the topics? I think a few action items from this is I'll start a group of Stakewise and DXDAO. I can also hook you up together, Kirill and Luke. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else? I guess we should explore the XDAI running an XDAI validator as well.
And be on the lookout for the Bowman.
And yeah, and be out, look out for the Bowman. Can we get the Bowman next call, John?
I can try. I can always try. No promises. Maybe I'll just dress up as the Bowman. I'll just put my other computer on.
That's the secret. We all are the Bowman.
Who is
Anyway.
the Bowman? Cuckoo Kachu or something.
Yeah, so I think that's it for the BizDev call. Yeah, well, Martin is asking if we need a lot of stake. Yeah, I think it's like 20K stake, which, I mean...
2,000, I thought. No?
Yeah, they lowered it.
Oh,
Which is
2,000?
It was like $40,000 worth of. I mean, it would not be a
No.
big
It
move
would be,
for the Treasury.
oh yeah, it would be 40K, right? Okay, no, I was confused. It used to be much more.
$40,000 worth, yeah.
Oh,
Which would not be a huge move for the Treasury. Like that's
Yeah, and it's also sort of diversifying, right?
Let's do it. I don't have a voice here yet, but let's do it.
anybody can make proposals.
Yeah,
You
that's-
just have to convince them.
I still have to claim my rep from a Gitcoin donation I did like a year ago or something.
It's not going to cost you much today anyway, so might as
Can
well
I do it in XDAI?
Yes, you can.
Great, I'm so happy. I'm happy.
this is a
with it.
multi-chain DAO.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, I need to help the next call as well. Thanks, everyone.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, I guess, Scott, you can stop the recording. And
Yeah.
yeah, thanks, everyone.